It's nighttime in the big city. Angry prostitutes fight over a street corner. A man gets drunk and shaves off his mustache. It's Theme Time Radio Hour with your host, Bob Dylan.
La, la, la. La, 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 la.
Welcome to Theme Time Radio Hour. The mercury is rising, the heat flames out from the large nostrils of the sky, and the wind is as warm as a drunkard's breath. We're talking about the wet, sticky heat that hangs over you, the unrelenting sunlight beating down on us. We're talking about the dog days of summer. Time to open up the fire hydrants and have a party in the streets, 'cause it's summertime.
Summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, don't you know, my darling? I said it right now, and the cotton is high. Like a your land is rich, got a rich girl, and your mommy's good looking, yeah. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings come, you're gonna rise up singing. Then you spread your little wings, and take to the sky. La, 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 la. That morning come, baby, there's nothing gonna harm you, girl. With a mommy and a daddy standing by. So, and I'm never gonna let you go, love. La 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 la, 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 la la la. Yeah, pretty people tell us yeah, yeah. Hush, little baby, don't you cry. Hey, shut, what are you cry, daughter? Little daughter, I said now, no. Listen, baby, I don't want you to die, daughter. Pretty baby, don't let a tear fall from your eyes. Hey, all I'm gonna do to be baby, child, I said it right now. Don't let a tear, baby, child, I said, fall from your eyes. So hush, pretty baby, do not let a tear fall from your eye. Oh!
There's a hot one by Billy Stewart, doing his version of the Gershwin Brothers classic, Summertime. It's summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high, and you'll spread your little wings, take to the sky. Bo Diddley discovered Billy and gave him a job as a piano player, but Billy was much too big a talent to stay in the background. He died in a car crash on June 17th, 1970. He was 32 years old. You're going to spend a lot of time in your cars in the summertime. Be careful. You don't want to end up like Billy Stewart or our next performer, who also passed away in a car crash. One of the rockabilly greats, Eddie Cochran, in a song recorded many times by many people, Summertime Blues. But I don't think any of them did it half as good as the man who wrote it, Eddie Cochran.
I'm gonna raise a fuss, I'm gonna raise a holler about a working all summer just to try to earn a dollar. Every time I call my baby, try to get a date, my boss says,
"No die, son, you gotta work late."
sometimes I wonder what I'm gonna do, but there ain't no cure for the summertime blues. Oh, well, my mom and papa told me, son, you gotta make some money. If you wanna use a car to go riding next Sunday. Oh, well, I didn't go to work, told the boss I was sick.
Now you can't use a car 'cause you didn't work a lick.
Sometimes I wonder what I'm gonna do, but there ain't no cure for the summertime blues. I'm gonna take 2 weeks, gonna have a fun vacation. I'm gonna take my problem to the United Nations. Well, I called my congressman and he said, quote,
I'd like to help you, son, but you're too young to vote.
sometimes I wonder what I'm gonna do, but there ain't no cure for the summertime blues.
Summertime Blues. That was the man who wrote it, Eddie Cochran. Raising a holler. He'd been working all summer, trying to earn a dollar. Not going to work, telling the boss he's sick. Not being able to use the car 'cause you didn't work a lick. Sometimes I wonder what I'm gonna do. There ain't no cure for the summertime blues. Eddie Cochran on Theme Time Radio Hour.
We're having a heat wave, says WICE in southern New England.
We're having a heat wave and a lot of heat like heavy artillery. When the heat is on, heads will roll. Heat wave, Martha and the Vandellas. One of them Holland Dozier Holland songs from Motown. This record was a #1 R&B smash in 1963 and reached #4 on the pop charts.
Whenever I'm with him,
Now with him, something inside starts to burning, and I'm filled with desire. Could it be the devil in me, or is this the way love's supposed to be? Like a heat wave burning in my heart. Can't keep from crying. It's tearing me apart.
The heat wave continues throughout the city as record-breaking temperatures claimed 6 lives yesterday.
Heat Wave by Saul K. Bright and his Hawaiians. Saul was born in Honolulu. He wrote a song called Hawaiian Scotsman, which made a star out of Bill Akamuhau. Saul K. Bright, Heat Wave, on Theme Time Radio Hour.
The heat wave, we're having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave, a tropical heat wave. The temperature's rising, it isn't surprising. She certainly can. She started the heat wave, she started a heat wave, but letting her seat wave, but letting her seat wave, and in such a way that the customers say that she certainly can. Gee, her anatomy made the mercury jump to 93. Yes, sir, we're having a heat wave, we're having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave, a tropical heat wave. The way that she moved that thermometer proves that she certainly can. We're having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave, a tropical heat wave. The temperature's rising, it isn't surprising. She certainly can. She started the heat wave, she started a heat wave, but letting her seat wave, but letting her seat wave, and in such a way that the customer says that she certainly can. She her anatomy made the mercury jump to 93. Yes, sir, we're having a heat wave, we're having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave, a tropical heat wave. The way that she moves that thermometer proves that she certainly can.
Heatwave was written by Irving Berlin. Gee, her anatomy makes the mercury jump to 93. If you'd like to see Sal in some films, I recommend Charlie Chan's Greatest Case, Flirtation Walk, and South Sea Rose. People don't notice whether it's winter or summer when they're happy, so says Anton Chekhov. Right now, Bobby Hebb. On November 23rd, 1963, the day after JFK's assassination, his brother, Harold Hebb, was killed in a knife fight. These two events affected Hebb so deeply that he sought comfort in songwriting. The song that came out of it was The Optimistic Sonny. Hebb said, "All my intentions were just to think of happier times, basically looking for a brighter day." Sonny, Bobby Hebb.
Sonny, yesterday my life was filled with rain. Sonny, you smiled at me and really eased the pain. Now the dark days are done and the bright days are here. My sunny one shines so sincere. Sunny one so true, I love you. Sunny, thank you for the sunshine bouquet. Sunny, Thank you for the love you brought my way. You gave to me your all in all, and now I feel 10 feet tall. Sunny one so true, I love you. Sunny, thank you for the truth you let me see. Sunny, thank you for the facts from A to Z. My life was torn like windblown sand, then a rock was formed when we held hands. Sunny one so true, I love you. Sunny, thank you for that smile upon your face. Sunny, thank you for that gleam that flows with grace. You're my spark of nature's fire. You're my sweet, complete desire. Sunny one so true, yes, I love you. Sunny, yesterday all my life was filled with rain. Sunny, you smiled at me and really, really eased the day. Now the dark days are done and the bright days are here. My sunny one shines so sincere. Sunny one so true, I love you. I love you. I love you.
Sunny, Bobby Hebb on Theme Time Radio Hour. Bobby performed on the Grand Ole Opry with Roy Acuff, becoming one of the first black musicians to perform on the Opry stage.
And the listening's easy when I tune to my favorite show. The listening's great when I'm grooving with my radio. All systems go. Swinging summertime on my favorite show.
Fatso Bentley, singing about the Juneteenth Jamboree, the oldest nationally celebrated commemoration of the ending of slavery. The state of Texas made Juneteenth an official holiday in 1980, and it's the only state to celebrate this event. The Juneteenth Jamboree, where everything is strictly free. At the Juneteenth Jamboree, no shirking, no one's working. You really want a spree? Chicks galore, I guarantee. Grab your duds and come with me to the Juneteenth Jamboree.
If you really want to play, these cats set aside a day. Grab your duds and come with me, the Juneteenth Jamboree. Man, they really pitch a ball. Load of wigs, the jobs and all. Everything is strictly free, the Juneteenth Jamboree. There's no shirking, no one's working. Everybody stops. Gums are chopping, corks are popping, doing the Texas hop. If you really want a spree, chicks galore, I'll guarantee. Grab your duds and come with me, the Juneteenth Jamboree. Yeah. And come with me, Juneteenth Jamboree. Man, they really pitch a ball. Load of wigs, the jobs and all. Everything is strictly free, the Juneteenth Jamboree. There's no shirking, no one gun's working, everybody stop. Guns are chopping, corks are popping, doing the Texas hop. That's the kill from head to feet. Baskets full of food to eat. You can't get this on your TV. The Juneteenth Jamboree. The Juneteenth Jamboree. The Juneteenth Jamboree.
Fatso Bernie was no stranger to Aristotle. I saw an interview with him once where he was talking about Aristotle saying that the basic building block of all argument was the syllogism. Meaning, of course, reasoning from the general to the specific. A deduction. Thank you, Fatso. Always knew that you would knee deep into something.
The station for more fun in the sun.
What would summertime be without a samba? Here's Astrid Gilberto. She's a Brazilian, born in Bahia, Brazil, in 1940. She married João Gilberto, and they moved to the United States. She recorded a very influential album with the jazz saxophonist Stan Getz. This album included the song Girl from Ipanema, which is perhaps the most famous samba ever recorded. But this one is just as beautiful. Here's Astrid Gilberto singing about someone to sing to me, some little samba song, someone to cling to me, someone to stay with me right or wrong. That would be so nice.
Someone to hold me tight, that would be very nice. Someone to love me right, that would be very nice. Someone to understand each little dream in me. Someone to take my hand, to be a team with me. So nice, life would be so nice if one day I find someone who will take my hand and samba through life with me. Someone to cling to me, stay with me right or wrong. Someone to sing to me some little samba song. Someone to take my heart, then give his heart to me. Someone who's ready to give love a start with me. Oh yes, that would be so nice. Should it be you and me, I can see it would be nice. To cling to me, stay with me right or wrong. Someone to sing to me some little samba song. Someone to take my heart, then give his heart to me. Someone who's ready to give love a start with me. So nice, that would be so nice. Should it be you and me, I can see it could be nice.
That was the Summer Samba, right here on Theme Time Radio Hour, where I've just gotten word we've received an email from a regular listener, Dr. Hassenslas from Burlington, Vermont. The doctor writes in, "To whom it may concern, I know what songs you like, but what kind of plays do you enjoy?" Well, thank you for the email, Doc, and I'm glad you asked that question. One of my favorite playwrights is Tennessee Williams, not to be confused with Tennessee Ernie Ford. Tennessee wrote Cat on the Hat Tin Roof, and perhaps his most famous play, Sweet Bird of Youth. The play was about an aging movie star whose kept young man is castrated by the father of the girl he deserted. It touched on the themes of lost youth and aging, loneliness, sex, and pretending to be what one is not. It opened on March 10th, 1959, to great success. Among the people who loved this play is Van Morrison, who uses the title as part of the lyrics in our next song, The Youth of a Thousand Summers.
soul, in my soul, in my soul. In my soul, in my soul, in my soul. And it looks so radiant, and it shines like the sun. And it looks so radiant, and it lights up the world. He's the youth of 1,000 summers. He's the youth of 1,000 summers. Like a sweet bird of youth, like a sweet bird of youth. In my soul, in my soul, in my soul. Yeah, my soul, in my soul, in my soul. Yeah. And the clear crystal fountain. He's the saint of the river. He's the ancient of days. He's the youth of 1,000 summers. He's the youth of 1,000 summers. Like a sweet bird of youth, like a sweet bird of youth. In my soul, in my soul, in my soul. In my soul, in my soul, in my soul. And he makes you go skipping, and he makes you go dancing, and he gets you in rhythm, and he moves you in song. He's the youth of 1,000 summers. He's the youth of 1,000 summers. Like a sweet bird of youth, like a sweet bird of youth. In my soul, in my soul, in my soul. In my soul, in my soul, in my soul. In my soul, in my soul, in my soul. Soul, in my soul, in my soul, and the sweet bird of youth. In my soul, in my soul, yeah. In my soul, 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 in my soul.
There's Van, from his album Enlightenment. The youth of 1,000 summers, like a sweet bird of youth. Shining like the sun, looking so radiant. Makes you go skipping, makes you go dancing. Getting you into the rhythm of song. One of my favorite names in all of music. RCA recording artist, Mr. Sadhead. Singing the hot weather blues, it ain't hot weather that makes me stick to you. With a name like Mr. Sadhead, what else do you need to know?
Tell me you'll be mine.
That was Mr. Sadhead, 3 points down and 2 minutes to play. He could have called himself heavy-hearted head, melancholy head, mournful head or sorry head, unhappy head, blue head or dejected head, down head or dispirited head, but instead called himself Mr. Sadhead. It fits better on the label.
Why is everybody listening to this DJ?
Why is everybody mad about his style?
For music that's best stay tuned to.
Theme Time Radio Hour.
For a while.
Next up is The Lovin' Spoonful. John Sebastian grew up in Greenwich Village. He made a living playing harmonica as a sideman during the folk music revival, or as Dave Van Ronk used to call it, the folk scare. But in 1964, he started the Even Dozen Jug Band, and then was briefly in the Mugwumps with a couple of the Mamas and Papas, and then he started The Lovin' Spoonful. Some of you might remember him for singing the theme to the TV series Welcome Back, Kotter, starring Gabe Kaplan. Let's get it going.
Hot town, summer in the city, back of my neck getting dirt and gritty. Bend down, isn't it a pity? Doesn't seem to be a shadow in the city. All around, people looking half dead, walking on the sidewalk harder than a match head. But at night it's a different world. Go out and find a girl. Come on and dance all night. Despite the heat, it'll be alright. And babe, don't you know it's a pity the days can't be like the nights in the summer, in the city, in the summer, in the city. Cool town, eating in the city, dressed so fine and looking so pretty. Cool cat, looking for a kitty, gonna look in every corner of the city. Till I'm wheezing like a bus stop, running up the stairs, gonna meet you on the rooftop. But at night it's a different world. Go out and find a girl. Come on and dance all night. Despite the heat, it'll be alright. And babe, don't you know it's a pity the days can't be like the nights in the summer, in the city, in the summer, in the city. Dirt and gritty, bend down, isn't it a pity? Doesn't seem to be a shadow in the city. All around, people looking half dead, walking on the sidewalk harder than a match head. But now it's a different world. Go out and find a girl. Come on and dance all night. Despite the heat, it'll be alright. And babe, don't you know it's a pity the days can't be like the nights in the summer, in the city, summer, in the city. The Lovin' Spoonful. Song about a hot town, summer in the city, wheezing like a bus stop, meet you on the rooftop. If you're going up to the rooftop, you'll be spending your time on Tar Beach. Tar Beach is what New Yorkers call a rooftop when they go up to sunbathe.
I'm just not made for the heat. This is my first summer in New York, and it's practically killing me.
One of the most important figures in ska and rocksteady is Prince Buster. He was a boxer when he was young, but gave it up to follow his musical dreams. He had great success and didn't have to take a haymaker to the jaw. This song, Too Hot, is not referring to the weather, but to the state of Kingston in 1967, as rude boy violence raged on, and police cowered under the onslaught, and the government threatened to bring in the army to restore order. This is Prince Buster. They calling in for the guns, about to spoil the rude boy funds, and the rude boys never give up their guns. Prince Buster, Too Hot.
Too hot. This town is too hot. Too hot. Too hot. Now because calling in for the guns, about to spoil the rude boy funds. But rude boy never give up their guns. It's too hot, too hot, too hot. No man can tell them what to do. Too hot, too hot. Pound for pound, they say they're ruder than you. Too hot, too hot. They are the boss and the no back talk. If Madden have a coffin you like and you choose your burial site, your insurance, make up your will. Come out and take them, buy them. Without them, the police force are afraid. They can't even touch them. Hot, hot. Them say if you think you're bad, why don't you come out yourself? These boys fighting for a fight, fighting the night. They don't lie, cause it's too hot, 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 too hot.
Cecil Campbell, who renamed himself Prince Buster with a song about the heat and rude boy violence. According to a 1997 study in the American Psychological Association Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, the hotter it gets, the more likely people are to kill each other. I could have told him that. To see the summer sky is poetry, though never in a book it lie. True poems flee. Emily Dickinson, deaf poetess. In winter I get up at night and dress by yellow candlelight. In summer quite the other way, I have to go to bed by day. Robert Louis Stevenson, slightly deaf poet. If her daddy's rich, take her out for a meal. If her daddy's poor, just do what you feel. Mungo Jerry, deaf poets. Their name was inspired by the poem Mungo Jerry and Rumpelteazer from T.S. Eliot's Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats, the same source for Andrew Lloyd Webber's musical Cats. I'd rather listen to Mungo Jerry.
In the summertime, when the weather is high, you can stretch right up and touch the sky. When the weather's fine, you got women on your mind. Have a drink, have a drive, go out and see what you can find. If a daddy's rich, take her out for a meal. If a daddy's poor, just do what you feel. Speed along the lane, you a down or a turn of 25. When the sun goes down, you can make it good and live by. We're not bad people, we're not dirty, we're not mean. We love everybody, but we do as we please. When the weather's fine, we go fishing or go sailing in the sea. We're always happy, lives we're living, yeah, that's our philosophy. Sing along with us, dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, da-da-da-da-da, yeah, we're happy, da-da-da, dee-da-da. summertime and we'll sing again. We go driving or maybe we'll settle down. If she's rich, if she's nice, bring your friends and we'll all go into town. See what you can find. If a daddy's rich, take her out for a meal. If a daddy's poor, just do what you feel. Speed along the lane, you go down or return to 25. When the sun goes down, you can make it good and live by. We're not great people, we're not dirty, we're not mean. We love everybody, but we do as we please. When the weather's fine, we go fishing or go sailing in the sea. We're always happy, the lives we're living, yeah, that's our philosophy. Sing along with us, dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, da-da-da-da-da, yeah, we're happy.
Mungo Jerry was formed by Ray Dorset, who was inspired by skiffle bands and jug bands. As a matter of fact, the instrumentation on In the Summertime was guitar, upright bass, kazoo, jug, and washboard. Some people said the song had a dirty mind. Other people said, how would they know what's dirty and what's not? Mungo Jerry, a very optimistic band.
Hi, Astrid Gilberto here to tell you, if you want to have more fun, keep your dial set to the great sound of this wonderful station and take a lively companion wherever you go. Take a portable radio.
Here's John Brim. He's gonna cool you off. Usually comes by at night with a cool, creamy confection. Got ice cream sandwiches and Dixie cups, popsicles, and push-ups too. He's your ice cream man. Stop him when he's passing by.
Summertime is here, need something to keep you cool. Now summertime is here, need something to keep you cool. Hey little girl, I've got something for you. I'm your ice cream man, stop me when I'm passing by. I'm your ice cream man, stop me when I'm passing by. Now I cool you off, little girl, I guarantee I'll satisfy. I got cream sandwiches, Dixie cup, popsicles, and push-ups too. I'm your ice cream man, stop me when I'm passing by. Cool you off, little girl, I guarantee I'll satisfy. About 11 o'clock, you come along just about 11 o'clock. Now if you let me cool you off this time, you'll be my regular star. I got all flavors, including pineapple too. I got all flavors, including pineapple too. Now one of my flavors, little girl,
round brim has got all flavors, including pineapple, too. Ice Cream Man features Little Walter on harmonica. Here's some other ice cream flavors. Mocha Swirl, Rocky Road, Vanilla Fudge Ripple, Butter Pecan, Chocolate Chip, Mint Chocolate Chip, French Vanilla, Pink Bubblegum, Chocolate Marshmallow, and my favorite, Neapolitan. Nothing can cool you off better than a little ice cream in the summertime. Special thanks to the International Ice Cream Association for providing this list. So have a scoop with us here on Theme Time Radio Hour.
Big things to do and places to go. Have a picnic, see a show. Drive with care wherever you go on the 4th of July. Have more fun on the 4th. Listen to happy music, holiday radio.
4th of July by Dave Elvins. Dave is a songwriter and a performer from Downey, California. He and his brother Phil formed a band called the Blasters, but like a lot of brothers, had a hard time keeping the band together. Dave performs on his own nowadays, and also performs with the Knitters, along with Exene and John Doe from X.
I get home from work. Oh, but things just ain't the same. She turns out the lights and she cries in the dark. Won't answer when I call her name. On the stairs I smoke a cigarette alone. Mexican kids are shooting fireworks below. And hey baby, it's the 4th of July. Hey baby, it's the 4th of July. It's the 4th of July. Oh, but I want her lips, and I don't have the strength to go on the lost side of town in a dark apartment. We gave up trying so long ago. On the stairs I smoke a cigarette alone. Mexican kids are shooting fireworks below. And hey baby, it's the 4th of July. Hey baby, it's the 4th of July. Whatever happened, I apologize. So dry your tears and baby, walk outside. It's the
4th of July is America's birthday. Dave is on the stairs, smoking a cigarette all alone, and the Mexican kids are shooting fireworks below. If you're wondering what kind of fireworks they're shooting, it might have been M80s, cherry bombs, bottle rockets, or the ever-popular sparkler. If you are shooting off fireworks, be careful. You want to end up with as many fingers as you started with. Happy birthday, America.
Let me just go put something on. I'll go into the kitchen and get dressed.
The kitchen?
Yes, when it's hot like this, you know what I do? I keep my undies in the icebox.
There are a lot of ways to have fun in the summertime. You can play softball, you can have a picnic, you can go for a walk on the beach, but my favorite thing is to go fishing. Good fishing is just a matter of timing. You have to get there yesterday. Another way to have hot fun in the summertime is listen to Sly and the Family Stone. Bop-a-bop-bop when I want to, and Cloud 9 when I want to. A county fair in the country sun, hot fun in the summertime, when I have most of my fun staying high, 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 high. Sly and the Family Stone, the band really was a family affair, with his brother Fred on guitar, his sister Rosie on piano, and other assorted family members helping out. Sly disappeared for a bunch of years, but he recently showed up on the Grammys. Welcome back, Sly. Just because the days are longer in the summer doesn't mean we can stay here longer than an hour. That means we gotta go. So I'm gonna go out, sit on a bank by a clear river, throw my draperies off, water my lawn, tack up some mosquito netting, slice myself a watermelon, and just watch the mercury rise. You see, the Earth's warming up. Be careful of that global warming, and wear your sunscreen. I'll see you all next week on Theme Time Radio Hour. Put on your shades.
You've been listening to Theme Time Radio Hour with your host, Bob Dylan. Produced by Eddie Gorodetsky. Associate producer, Sonny Webster. Continuity by Eats Martin. Edited by Damian Rodriguez. Supervising editor, Rob McComber. The Theme Time research team, Diane Lapson and Bertie Bernstein. With additional research by Lynn Sheridan, Kimberly Williams, and Robert Bauer. Production assistance by Jim McBean. Special thanks to Randy Ezrati, Debbie Sweeney, Coco Shinomiya, and Samson's Diner. For XM Radio, Lee Abrams. Recorded in Studio B, the Abernathy Building. This has been a Greywater Park production in association with Big Red Tree. This is your announcer, Pierre Mancini, speaking. Join us again next week for Theme Time Radio Hour, when the subject is flowers.
It's nighttime in the big city. A Brinks truck pulls up in front of a bank. A man makes a promise he'll never keep. It's Theme Time Radio Hour with your host, Bob Dylan.
Welcome to Theme Time Radio Hour. We pride ourselves in asking the tough questions. We'll answer most of them on our question show, but we still got a few others. Why wasn't Charlie Feathers a bigger star? Why isn't Wanda Jackson in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? And how do they get the coffee so damn hot at Sampson's Diner? But none of these questions are quite as puzzling as this one. Why did it take us 78 shows before we decided to do one as obvious as the subject of night? That's right, on today's broadcast, we're going to be talking about that time between dusk and dawn. And like the fog, it comes in on little cat's feet. As a matter of fact, there's an old saying. It says all cats are gray at night, meaning all things can seem the same under the cover of darkness. Samuel Johnson once said, whoever thinks of going to bed before 12 o'clock is a scoundrel. Well, this show is definitely not for scoundrels. We'll be talking about the bewitching hour, nightfall, nightshade, the dimness and darkness of the PM. And like J.J. Cale, we might even shake our tambourine. To start things off, here's Joe Houston, a saxophone player who joined the band at age 16. The band leader hired him because he had the right color suit, he could read the charts pretty good, and he said he could be at the train station at 7 a.m. The same way I'd choose a band. Here's Joe, and he's going to play all night long. That was Joe Houston and his Rockets playing for you all night long. Sometimes all night long is longer than you bargained for. For instance, in the northern hemisphere, the winter solstice is in the tail end of December. That's when the sun is lowest point in the sky, and it's the longest night of the year. But that doesn't hold a candle to the land of the midnight sun. North of the Arctic Circle, in parts of Alaska, Canada, Greenland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Russia, and the extremities of Iceland, they can have a full 6 months of continual darkness. If you're listening up there, try to keep warm, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Here's a guy I know from New Orleans. I call him Mac, but you can call him Dr. John. He started out making records in the late 50s. When he started, he played just as much guitar as he played keyboards, but he got shot in the hand. He had to give up the guitar and play mostly keyboards after that. But he'll occasionally strap on a guitar, like when he produced that Professor Longhair record. He didn't need to play piano, he had Professor Longhair. Anyway, he got out of New Orleans in the mid-60s, headed to Los Angeles, and ended up being the Gree ambassador. Here's a song from a big hit album he had. The album was called In the Right Place, and the song, Such a Night. Here's Dr. John.
Such a night, it's such a night. Sweet confusion under the moonlight. Such a night, such a night. To steal away, the time is right. Your eyes caught mine in the attic lands. You let me know that this was my chance. You came there with my best friend Jim, and here I am trying to steal you away from him. Oh, but if I don't do it, you know somebody else will. If I don't do it, you know somebody else will. If I don't do it, you know somebody else will. If I don't do it, you know somebody else will. And it's such a night, it's such a night. Sweet confusion under the moonlight. It's such a night, such a night. To steal away, the time is right. Yeah, I couldn't believe my ears, and my heart just skipped a beat when you told me to take you walking down the street. Oh yeah, you came here with my best friend Jim. Here I am, stealing you away from him. Oh, but if I don't do it, you know somebody else will. If I don't do it, you know somebody else will. If I don't do it, you know somebody else will, baby. If I don't do it, you know somebody else will. 'Cause it's such a night.
That was Dr. John. If he don't do it, someone else will. One of those things that makes more sense in lyrics than when you just say it. Such a night. Whenever I listen to Dr. John, I can almost smell the night blooming jasmine. You know, there's lots of flowers that only bloom at night, and they're not just pellitory. Here are some of the others. The angel's trumpet. That opens in the late afternoon, actually. Angel's trumpet. That's a good name for a tavern. Opened up late in the afternoon, open all night. Perfect. There's the moonflower, evening primrose, the night blooming cereus. That's part of the cactus family. It looks like a dead bush, but one night of the year, it has its glory. It's beautiful and smells exquisite, but it closes forever in the first ray of the morning sun. Jerry Goffin and Carole King wrote no shortage of good songs. Here's one you might not know. It's performed by that atypical New York group, the people that kept Atlantic Records afloat for many a year, a group that had a number of famous lead singers and easily made the transition from 50s R&B to 60s soul. Of course, I'm talking about Yes. No, I'm talking about the Drifters. Here they are with a King Goffin song, who of course ruled in Bolivia in the late 1800s. Didn't know he was a songwriter, did you? Well, here you go. Here's Another Night with the Boys by the Drifters.
Looks like I'll spend another night with the boys. I tried to call on the phone, but you weren't home again. I guess that you made some other plans, so I'll just get out the cars and round up a couple of hands. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Looks like I'll spend another night with the boys. I know you're out on the town, you're running around again. And if they ask me, if somebody asks me why I'm not with you, oh yeah, I guess I have to confess that I've been wondering too. Why must I be denied the thrill of your kiss? What did I do to you to be treated like this? Yeah, oh why must I spend another night with the boys? Although they are good company, I'd much rather be with you. Why can't you tell me, why can't you tell me, baby, baby, what I've done wrong? Oh yeah, and let me spend all my nights with you where I belong.
That was Another Night with the Boys, the Drifters here on Theme Time Radio Hour, where we're going gently into that good night. One thing we talk about is how technology changes art. If you know one thing, you know we're all about the delivery system. We've talked about how microphones allowed Bing Crosby to change popular singing. Well, it wasn't just in the pop field. Blues singers used to have to shout the blues. Maybe they're singing in the field or in front of a large band. They had to be big-lunged to be heard. But when the microphone came about, a new voice was able to be heard. It was a cooler voice, an urban voice, kind of like the blues equivalent of crooning. And this is the guy who exemplified it. Leroy Carr was a big influence on Nat Cole and Ray Charles, and his songs are still alive today. I think Eric Clapton recorded one recently. Leroy Carr had a short life, died as a result of alcoholism at the age of 30, but left a large shadow. Here he is, talking about the nighttime when the sun goes down.
In the evening, Mama, when the sun goes down. In the evening, baby, when the sun goes down. Well, ain't it lonesome, babe, when your lover's not around, when the sun goes down. Last night I laid a sleeping I was thinking to myself, last night I laid a-sleeping, I was thinking to myself, well, wondering and thinking why the one that you love will mistreat you for someone else when the sun goes down. The sun rises in the east and it sets up in the west. The sun rises in the east, mama, and it sets in the west. Well, it's hard to tell which one will treat you the best when the sun goes down. Yeah. Goodbye, old sweethearts and pals. Yes, I'm going away, but I may be back to see you again some more rainy day. Well, in the evening, babe, when the sun goes down, when the sun goes down.
That was Leroy Carr, When the Sun Goes Down. You know, we were just listening to this record, and it sounds just like Love in Vain by Robert Johnson. Robert recorded about 8 to 10 years later, but he must have heard that record. He played the two back to back, and it's remarkable. There's nothing new under the sun, or in honor of tonight's show, under the moon neither. They say the sun never sets on the British Empire. At least he said that in 1919, when the British Empire claimed to cover a quarter of the Earth's surface. At that point, it was literally true that during every 24-hour day, there was never a moment in which it was not daylight somewhere in the British Empire. But like all good things have to come to an end, the British Empire finally fell. It's like Peleus said to his son, Achilles, "Sure, you're strong, but everybody's got a weak point. Don't be cocky." While the English Empire sure learned that lesson. One man that was totally unlike Achilles, and by that I mean he definitely had no problems with his feet, was Fred Astaire. He was a great dancer, started out in vaudeville, doing an act with his sister, Adele Astaire. He was everything you wanted to be, charming, graceful, and sophisticated. He had an innate sense of grace that he brought to all of his films and also to a series of records that he made in the 50s. The jazz producer Norman Granz brought him into the studio, along with top jazz musicians like the late Oscar Peterson, Flip Phillips, Charlie Shavers, Barney Kessel, and Ray Brown, and had Fred sing new interpretations of some of the songs he introduced in films. Here's when he first sang in the RKO musical Swing Time. This was from 1953, however, around 17 years after the fact. Here's Fred Astaire and The Way You Look Tonight.
Someday, when I'm awfully low, when the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you and the way you look tonight. Oh, but you're lovely with your smile so warm and your cheeks so soft. There is nothing for me but to love you, just the way you look tonight. With each word, your tenderness grows, tearing my fear apart. And that little laugh that wrinkles your nose just touches my foolish heart. Lovely, never change. Keep that breathless charm. Oh, won't you please arrange it? 'Cause I love you just the way you look tonight. Just the way you look tonight.
That was Fred Astaire and The Way You Look Tonight. This is Theme Time Radio Hour, and we're talking about night, or as Antonio Portio put it, the world that is lit by itself. Nighttime is the time that most things happen in film noir. Noir is a French word for black and gives us the concept of a dark film. The French were fascinated by it. They thought that the formerly sunny, optimistic United States was getting darker in the 40s. These films were fatalistic. One small step in the wrong direction, a tiny lie, a petty crime, and you could be sent into a quicksand of obliteration. The film style showed sharply defined shadows, Dutch camera angles. The whole thing painted a picture of a nocturnal, claustrophobic city, subterranean and unreal, a picture the French seemed to like. The idea of film noir was taken partially from the books of Cornell Woolridge. He's perhaps best known today as writing the short story that the movie Rear Window was based on. He was a protege of F. Scott Fitzgerald, but after a couple of novels, found his own true calling, dark crime fiction. He wrote a whole cycle of books that had the word black in them. The Bride Wore Black, The Black Curtain, The Black Alibi, The Black Angel, Rendezvous in Black, and The Black Path of Fear. These were called by the French literature noir, and a lot of the aspects of film noir can be seen in them. Like many authors, Cornell Woolridge was a sad, lonely man. He lived with his mother, and after her death in 1957, he was burned out and spiraled downward. He lived for 11 years after her death, a lonely alcoholic who delayed visiting a doctor and lost a leg to gangrene. His funeral was unattended. He had long ago turned away all of his friends. Cornell Woolridge, Father of Darkness.
The next 120 seconds bring you more action and excitement than most people experience in a lifetime. Rushing at fever pitch out of the night in the city comes the best-selling novel that intrigued millions, Gerald Kirsch's startling story of London after dark, Night and the City. An intimate and intense picture of a city, and the intruders in the night who live and love and hate under cover of its darkness.
I was talking to Willie Nelson the other day. He told me he wrote this next song in an Indian nightclub. I asked him how he knew it was an Indian nightclub. He told me they charged him $24 for a Manhattan. That Willie's got 1 million of them. And here's one of his better ones. It's a song called Nightlife. A lot of people have recorded this. I think at this point, more people know B.B. King's version than anyone else's. But I gotta give all props to the Red-Headed Stranger. Here he is, Willie Nelson, and Nightlife.
When the evening sun goes down, you will find me hanging hanging round. The nightlife ain't a good life, but it's my life. Many people just like me, dreaming of old used-to-be's. And the nightlife ain't a good life, but it's my life. Listen to the blues they're playing. Listen to what the blues are saying. Mine is just another scene from the world of broken dreams. And the nightlife ain't a good life, but it's my life. Listen to the blues they're playing. Listen to what the blues are saying. Mine is just another scene from the world of broken dreams. And the nightlife ain't a good life, but it's my life.
Willie Nelson and Nightlife. During that last song, I was reading over some of the emails. Haven't had a chance to read it a lot, and it can back up on you. This one's from at least 3 or 4 months ago. It's from a Leon Chessman, when he says he's in Boulder, Colorado. He writes, Dear Bob, I really enjoy the show. I was recently reading an interview in Rolling Stone magazine with the rock group Radiohead. In it, one of the members said that they're afraid to move from their hometown, Oxford, England, because it might mean they would lose their juju. I read this, and I became concerned. I'm thinking of leaving Boulder to go to school in Hartford, Connecticut. But I thought I would check with you. Am I in danger of losing my juju? Signed, Leon Chessman. Well, Leon, that's a fair question. I've always believed that one's juju is self-contained, meaning if you think you're going to lose it, you very well might. The guys in Radiohead think they might lose their juju if they left Oxford, and so they would. But if you think your juju is secure, that you carry it with you wherever you go, you're free to wander the world. Me, I keep my juju in a jar, so no matter where I go, I can always come back to it. Hope that answers your question, and we're going to be sending a free hat out to you any minute. Sometimes when I play a record, I have all sorts of history about it. I know a little bit about this next record. I know that Chick Carbo sang in a group along with his brother Chuck called the Spiders. I know before they were the Spiders, they had a gospel group called the Zion Harmonizers. And after that, they were called the Delta Southerners. I know this record's from 1962 on the Instant record label and is written by Alan Toussaint. None of that is important. What always kills me about this record is every time I listen to it, I'm totally convinced the background singers are singing shoebox. Doesn't make any sense, but that's what I hear. Shoebox. You be the judge. Here's Chick Carbo in the Night.
Shoebox, 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 shoebox. In the night, when the lights are low, do you remember not very long ago you were happy in my arms? Now how do you feel since your lover has gone? In the night when you all alone, Do you cry? Do you weep and moan? I know it hurts you, biggest hurt you've ever known. Now how do you feel since your lover has gone? I know you wake up in the night pulling out your hair, but you can stop it right now. It's gonna get you nowhere. Go right ahead, live on and face the fact. Oh yeah, get used to the idea I'm not coming back. The night when the lights are low, do you remember? Not very long ago, you were happy in my arms. Now tell me, how do you feel since your lover has gone? Now tell me, how do you feel? How do you feel?
That'll Make You Nuts, a song with a peculiar pediform, In the Night by Chick Carbo. One guy that was home in the night was Batman. He was introduced in May of 1939 in Detective Comics number 27 by Bob Kane. I always loved Batman. The way I looked at it, you had to come from another planet to be Superman, but I could be Batman, and you know I tried. Buddy Holly met Bob Montgomery when they were both 7th graders at Hudson's Junior High. They played and recorded together, and he was his first songwriting partner. After that, Buddy signed to the Decca record label, but didn't have any hits until he went over to Coral. And then all too soon, it was all over. The Decca recordings aren't played as often as his hit recordings on Carl and Brunswick, but there's some great stuff in there. Here's an example. This one goes out to all of our friends while working on the midnight shift. Here's Buddy.
Well, if you see old Annie, better give her a lift, 'cause Annie's been a-working on the midnight shift. If Annie puts her hair up on her head, paints them lips a bright, bright red, wears that dress that fits real tight, starts staying out till the middle of the night, says that a friend give her a lift. Well, Annie's been a-working on the midnight shift. If she acts a little funny, seems a little strange, starts spending your money for brand new things, tells you that she wants to use the car, never explains what she wants it for. Brother, that just ain't no ifs, 'cause Annie's been a-working on the midnight shift. When the sun comes up, you look at old Annie and she looks kind of rough. You tell her, honey, get out of that bed. She says, leave me alone, I'm just about dead. Brother, that just ain't no ifs, 'cause Annie's been a-working on the midnight shift. Got a good mama that's staying at home, you better enjoy it, 'cause it won't last long. When you think everything's alright, she starts slipping round in the middle of the night. Brother, that just ain't no ifs, 'cause Annie's been a-working on the midnight shift.
Buddy Holly, and he's been working on the midnight shift, working on the off shift, the dog watch, the graveyard shift, burning a little midnight oil. Here's a guy you don't hear a lot of, probably because he only made a couple of records. He's got a great name, though, Zuzu Bolin. No, he wasn't born with that name. He was born A.D. Bolin, but he got the nickname while he was in the band of a guy named E.X. Brooks. I don't know what it was in his part of the country. Nobody had names, they just had initials. Anyway, E.X. used to see A.D. eating this brand of ginger snap cookies. The cookies were called Zuzus, and from then on, E.X. called A.D. Zuzu. He made a couple of records, and they feature Fathead Newman and Hog Cooper, who later went on to play with Ray Charles. Here's Zuzu Bolin. Why don't you eat where you slept last night? A fair question.
Baby, make it. On me, baby, but I'll get you, just wait and see. You've been trifling on me, baby, but I'll get you, just wait and see. Gonna put you down, baby, 'cause you ain't been dealing with me. Last night. Why don't you eat where you slept last night? Just eat with me, baby, everything's gonna be alright.
Eating and sleeping, what else you need? Zuzu Bolin. And I know what you're thinking. This guy only made a couple of records, and this is another one of those guys that met a tragic end. No. He lived all the way to 1990. What happened to him? He left the music business and went into a more stable profession, dry cleaning. He had a big dry cleaning business down in Texas. Here's a jingle from his company.
Do you find dry cleaning to be expensive and bothersome?
Not since I started using self-service. I save so much, it's like a dream. Costs only pennies, takes only minutes, and everything's so clean.
This is Theme Time Radio Hour, your dusk to dawn companion. We played these guys before, Bob Feldman, Jerry Goldstein, and Richard Gotterer. They claimed to be from a non-existent town of Armstrong, Australia. They said they were sheep herders, and they weren't. There were 3 record producers from New York who knew a gimmick when they saw one. Here they are again with a song called Nighttime, The Strangeloves.
Right time, alright.
little bit closer. Turn your radio up so you can hear what I'm saying. Oh, now you got me turned on, baby. Hey, 100 million people with nothing to say, running round in circles, they just living the day. But stick with me, baby, I'll show you how to fly. We'll mix it with the music, watch the world go by. In the night time, yeah, that's the right time, alright. I say the night time, look out, baby, here I come. Night time, alright. Night time, do you feel alright? Gonna make you feel alright.
The Strangeloves and Nighttime. November 9th, 1965 was a very dark night. Well, it was if you lived in New York or New England. That was the Great Northeast Blackout. At around 5:15, there was a transmission line relay failure, and New England and New York were plunged into darkness. The emergency generators didn't work. There were no runway lights at the airport. There were people stuck in elevators, and street traffic was a mess. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that 9 months later, there must have been a little baby boom. I would have thought so too, but according to a 1970 study, there were no unusual spikes in births 9 months after the Great Blackout. I can't figure it. I know what I would have been doing. At the beginning of tonight's show, we played Dr. John, and we started talking about Professor Longhair, and I'm sitting here doing the show, and I'm thinking to myself, well, we're playing Professor Longhair. I mean, after all, In the Night is about night. It's a heck of a song, so I got nothing to say about it. We told you about him before, and you know how to look him up in Wikipedia. That's where he lives, Wikipedia, Louisiana. So here he is, Professor Longhair, and In the Night.
In the night, in the wee wee hours between midnight and day. Nobody here don't have to get too frisky. This morning ain't buying no whiskey. In the night, no, in the night, in the wee wee hours between midnight and day. I said nobody don't have to stand in line. Come on inside and have a good time. In the night, well, in the night, in the wee wee hours between midnight and day. All these girls got sex appeal. When they get to rockin', it's a real good deal. In the night, you know, in the night, in the wee wee hours between midnight and day. Jukebox plays as you get near. Everybody will be high off a beer. In the night, you know, in the night, in the wee wee hours between midnight and day. All these chicks gets real rough, calling for whiskey and a deal for snuff. In the night, well, in the night, in the wee wee hours between midnight and day. That was Professor Longhair, Henry Roland Berg, and In the Night. No fly-by-night there. One thing you see at night is deadly nightshade. It'll grow almost anywhere, in the shade of trees and large bushes. It's related to the potato, the tomato, and tobacco plants. Its scientific name is Atropa belladonna. Atropos is the Greek word that means to cut the thread of life. Belladonna comes from the Italian word that means beautiful lady.
Italian women used to use the sap of the deadly nightshade in order to dilate their pupils. They thought this made them more beautiful. During the Middle Ages, they were used for many things, as an hallucinogen and a torture device. More recently, the juice of it has been used in many purple dyes and to treat gout, rheumatism, and angina. I'm not sure if the nightshade the Latin playboys are singing about is of the deadly variety, but it makes for a fine song nonetheless. The Latin Playboys are a side project of David Hidalgo and Louis Perez, along with Chad Blake and Mitchell Froom. Most of these songs started out in the still of the night in David's kitchen on a beaten-up 4-track recorder, and it sure sounds like it. And I mean that in the best possible sense. You folks who only listen to satellite radio don't remember the days of driving late at night and hearing radio stations weave in and out of tuning as you get out of range of their antennas. It can lend some songs a ghostly sound that can seldom be duplicated in the studio. I think they do a pretty good job here, though. Here are the Latin Playboys and Forever Nightshade Mary.
Light the way when the evening comes, hasn't to worry. Don't care about the cold outside, only a glad wish for a magic ride on the wings of gold. Only a daydream, maybe a moonbeam, just a star. Forever nightshade, Mary, good night. She don't want money, don't want rings or fancy things. A star bright to shine behind big clouds of joy. Only a daydream, maybe a moonbeam, just a star bright. Forever nightshade, Mary, good night. Only a daydream, maybe a moonbeam, just a star bright. Forever nightshade, Mary, good night.
Latin Playboys, Forever Nightshade Mary, here on Theme Time Radio Hour. Night can be celebrated in song, in film, and in every other art. Perhaps one of the most famous evocations of night can be seen on a canvas covered with oil paint. It was painted at St. Remy in June of '89. That's 1889. You art buffs are way ahead of me. You know I'm talking about A Starry Night by the tragic painter Vincent van Gogh. A lot of theories about Van Gogh. Some say that he was born with a brain lesion. Others say the prolonged use of absinthe caused an epileptic condition. There's a toxin in absinthe called thujone. Now the interesting thing about thujone is it can cause one to see objects with a yellow tint, the way they say that Viagra makes you see things with a blue tint. A lot of art students who have consulted with physicians say that this thujone may have affected Van Gogh's palate. You can see it in this one especially. Plus, Van Gogh used lead-based paints. There's a symptom in lead poisoning where your retinas swell up, and that causes you to see halo-like circles around objects. But look at A Starry Night. It's yellow, with halo light glows around its stars. Sounds like absinthe and lead to me. I'm not even going to talk about him cutting off his ear and giving it to a prostitute, or about shooting himself in the chest less than a year after painting The Starry Night. But I will tell you this, his finest works were produced in less than 3 years, and he only sold one painting while he was alive. Here's a few words on the subject of midnight by Walt Whitman. This is thy hour, O soul, thy free flight into the wordless. Away from books, away from art, the day erased, the lesson done. Thee fully forth emerging, silent, gazing, pondering the themes thou lovest best. Night, sleep, death, and the stars. Walt Whitman, clear midnight, pondering the themes he lovest best. Night, sleep, death, and the stars. The only one we haven't done, the stars. Here's Charles Brown. He's contemplating the night also. In this case, the black night.
Nobody cares about me. Ain't even got a friend. Baby's gone and left me. When will my troubles end? Black night is falling. Oh, I hate to be alone. I keep crying for my baby, but now another day is gone. I've got no one to talk with, to tell my troubles to. Don't even know I'm living since I lost you. Black night is falling. Oh, I hate to be alone. I keep crying for my baby, but now another day is gone. My mother has her troubles, my father has his too. My brother's in Korea, and I don't know just what to do. Black night is falling. Oh, I hate to be alone. I keep crying for my baby, but now another day is gone.
That was Charles Brown and Black Night. A quiet song, but perhaps not appropriate as a lullaby. Lullabies should soothe you, and I'm not sure that song is totally soothing. Some famous lullabies include Rockabye Baby, Mockingbird, Turalura, and All the Pretty Little Horses. There are classical lullabies by Brahms, Mozart, and others. The origin of the lyrics to Hush-a-Bye Baby come from a practice that some Native Americans had of placing the baby in the branches of a tree, allowing the wind to gently rock the child to sleep. That's where you get the lyric, Hush-a-Bye Baby, on the treetop. I don't know when it was written, but it was first published in 1765. With the first fingers of pink are peeking over the horizon. The sun will be up in a little while, and I hope to be under the covers by then. We got time for one more before I go, and he's an old friend. He's the son of an Air Force pilot, got his master's degree in English Lit in 1960, served as a helicopter pilot in West Germany, and for a while, he rode the broom at the Columbia Studios in Nashville. You know, I'm talking about Chris Christopherson, singer, songwriter, and an actor. The only man I know who could write a song for Janis Joplin and then act with Barbra Streisand. Here's one of his most famous songs, and deservedly so. A thing all of us have said at one time or another. Help me make it through the night.
Take the ribbon from your hair, shake it loose and let it fall, laying soft upon my skin, like the shadows on the wall. Come and lay down by my side till the early morning light. All I'm taking is your time. Help me make it through the night. I don't care who's right or wrong. I don't try to understand. Let the devil take tomorrow. Lord, tonight I need a friend. Yesterday is dead and gone, and tomorrow's out of sight. And it's sad to be alone. Help me make it through the night. Lord, it's sad to be alone. Help me make it through the night.
That was Chris Christopherson and Help Me Make It Through the Night from his debut album, Christopherson. Catchy name. Well, I can hear the milkman on the stair, and traffic is starting to pick up on the Robertson Freeway. And like all creatures of the night, it's about time for me to scurry back to my cave. We'll be back again next week with another theme and anecdotes and tales to tantalize and delight. Before I go, I'm going to leave you with a poem by Carl Sandburg. Many ways to spell good night. Fireworks that appear on the 4th of July. Spell it with red wheels and yellow spokes. They fizz in the air, touch the water and quit. Rockets make a trajectory of gold and blue and then go out. Railroad trains at night spell with a smokestack mushrooming of white pillar. Steamboats turn a curve in the Mississippi, crying in a baritone that crosses lowland cotton fields to a razorback hill. It is easy to spell good night. Many ways to spell good night. Carl Sandburg, exiting poet. Here's another way to spell it. G''NIGHT. Good night and good luck.
Thanks for listening to Theme Time Radio Hour with your host, Bob Dylan. Produced by Eddie Gorodetsky, and the associate producer is Anita Fitzgerald. Continuity is by Eats Martin, and the editor is Damian Rodriguez. The supervising editor is Rob McCumber. The research team is Diane Lapson and Bernie Bernstein, with additional research courtesy of Lynn Sherman and April Hayes, Kimberly Williams, Callie Glavin, Terrence Michael, Sean Patrick, and Matthew Mauser. Robert Bauer was the librarian, and the production coordinator was Debbie Sweeney. Special thanks go out to Randy Ezrati, Coco Shinomiya, Simpson's Diner, and Lee Abrams. Tex Carbone was our director of studio operations. Recorded in Studio B of the historic Abernathy building. It's a Grey Water Park production in association with Big Red Tree. This is your announcer, Pierre Mancini, speaking. Election day is around the corner, so join us next week for a special encore presentation of our President's Day show.
It's nighttime in the big city. The worst has already happened. The well-dressed couple lean on the balcony. They laugh as they sip martinis. It's Theme Time Radio Hour with your host, Bob Dylan.
Welcome once again to Theme Time Radio Hour. Let me ask you a few questions, friends. Are you disinterested in work or family life? Do you suffer from sleep disruption? Have you had significant changes in appetite? Have you had paranoid thoughts? Thoughts of grandeur or invincibility? Any feelings of persistent anxiety or perhaps panic attacks? Are you hearing voices or seeing people who are not there? Do you have thoughts of dying? Do you exhibit strong or violent anger? Do you have the inability to pursue a normal life, normal activities, or normal relationships? Well, I'm no doctor, but perhaps you're mad as a hatter, crazy as a loon. Have you lost your marbles? Are your bats in the belfry? Maybe you're nutty as a fruitcake, crazy as a coot, taxed in the head, bunkers, bananas, deranged. Are your crackers or daffy, unhinged or local, not all there or all around the bend? Maybe you're cuckoo or buggy, or simply non-compos mentis. Do you talk to yourself? Do you ever binge out on food? Do you swing suddenly from one mood to another? Do vague acquaintances treat you as though they know you far better than you would expect? Allen Ginsberg once said that he had seen the best minds of his generation destroyed by madness. Well, for the next hour, we'll be providing a soundtrack. We're going to look at madness, insanity, and craziness. And if craziness was a continent, this would be the national anthem. It's Patsy Cline and a little number written by Willie Nelson, Crazy.
Crazy, I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy, crazy for feeling so blue. I knew you'd love me as long as you wanted, and then someday you'd leave me for somebody new. Worry, why do I let myself worry? Wondering what in the world did I do? Oh, crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for trying and crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you. Crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for trying and crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you.
if you're looking at her passport, Virginia Patterson Hensley. She took the name Patsy in honor of Patsy Montana and the name Cline from her first husband, Gerald Cline. Patsy recorded Crazy less than 2 months after a horrible car accident that left her visibly scarred. Bad luck dogged her for a long time. When she had to record the vocal, she couldn't hit the high notes because of a broken rib, still unhealed from a car accident. After 4 hours of trying, the band recorded a backing track. She came back a couple of weeks later to do her vocals, and the rest is musical history. With a great band she had too. Young Floyd Kramer on piano, Harold Bradley on the bass, Owen Bradley on the organ, Buddy Harmon on the drums, Walter Haynes on the steel. The Jordanaires were there, Grady Martin, a couple of other guys, John Lee Hooker, and Otis Redding was there. He didn't play anything, he just happened to be there, just passing through. On March 3rd, 1963, Patsy gave her last public performance. She was returning to Nashville in a Piper Comanche. It crashed, killing her, the pilot Randy Hughes, and fellow Grand Ole Opry stars Cowboy Corpus and Hawkshaw Hawkins. Aristotle quoted Plato, "No excellent mind is without a tincture of madness." There's a thin line between genius and madness, and it turns out that's scientifically true. Scientists now say that one particular gene, known as DAR-PP32, links genius and madness. 3/4 of schizophrenic people have a version of this gene, and it's also responsible for helping the prefrontal cortex coordinate with another portion of the brain, the striatum. Aristotle knew what he was talking about, at least when he quoted Plato. Here's a wild song about some crazy music from Jimmy Lunsford and his orchestra, on the same label as Patsy Cline, but recorded almost 30 years earlier, 1935, and was composed by Fred Rose, who later partnered up with Roy Acuff. See, the connection between jazz and country music has always been there. The song was arranged by Cy Oliver, and it's called "I'm Nuts About Screwy Music." Me too.
At the state asylum on the second floor, I talked with a patient, room 234. I said, "You don't look crazy, can't see why you're here." He sorta looked at me and smiled and whispered in my ear, "I'm nuts about screwy music. I'm screwy about nutty rhythm. I'm dilly over all silly melodies, crazy as a loon can be. I'm daffy about goofy tempo. I'm goofy about daffy changes. I'm dippy over all dizzy harmony written in a minor key. I love to hear sounds that are queer. I'm eccentric, they say. There's a boot in a flute or a mellow moaning cello. I'm nuts about screwy music. I'm screwy about nutty rhythm. I'm dilly over all silly melodies, crazy as a loon can be.
I'm nuts about screwy music. One guy who was so nuts about screwy music that he invented his own instruments and his own scale was a guy named Harry Podge. He was born in Oakland, and his parents were Presbyterian missionaries in China. When they returned to the States, they took young Harry all around the country, where he soaked up all sorts of influences. He learned many instruments as a child, and he quickly became dissatisfied with the limited system of Western music tuning. As a declaration of his independence, he gathered up all the music he had written, music he said was based on the tyranny of the piano and the 12-tone scale. He burned it in a big iron stove. He began to build instruments and eventually created a 43-tone scale. He would color code the instruments by painting and numbering the tones to fit his unique scale. I'm going to tell you about a couple of his instruments. One of the first was the adapted viola. The viola was an extended fingerboard that's played between the knees. In 1945, he created 2 chromelodeons. These were reed pump organs with total ranges of more than 5 musical octaves. There was the Mazda Marimba and the Zimmo XL, where sound is created by suspending liquor bottles, hubcaps, and shell casings and striking them. And the most fragile of all of his instruments were the cloud chamber bowls. He took Pyrex chemical solution jars, cut them in half, suspended them on a rack, and hit them with soft mallets. Harry Podge was a volatile person, unrestrained and uncompromising. Some people thought him schizophrenic. When he passed away in 1974, he left a legacy of 30 musical instruments and devised complex theories of intonation and performance. Eddie Cochran was born in Minnesota, but he migrated to Southern California in about 1950. By 1956, he could be seen in the movie The Girl Can't Help It, singing 20 Flat Rock. He made a number of records with the Liberty label, pretty much all of them gems. This one fits with this week's subject of madness, as it talks about that condition that was kind of a catch-all for all sorts of disorders. Here's Eddie Cochran in Nervous Breakdown.
I'm having a nervous breakdown, a mental shakedown. I see my hands how they shiver, I see my knees how they quiver, my whole body's in a tether. I'm having a nervous breakdown. Oh well, I went to see a doctor just the other day. And I'm about to tell you what the man had to say. Well, he says, Eddie boy, you just gotta slow down. You can't keep a traipsing all over town. After giving you a physical check, I come to the conclusion you're a total wreck. I'm having a nervous breakdown, a mental shakedown. I see my hands how they shiver, I see my knees how they quiver, my whole body's in a tether. I'm having a nervous breakdown. I made up my mind, I better change my ways. My shattered nerves have seen a better day. Well, no more girls for a week or two. No more running around with the usual crew. No more movies or staying out late. My baby have to find herself another date. I'm having a nervous breakdown, a mental shakedown. I see my hands how they shiver, I see my knees how they quiver, my whole body's in a tether. I'm having a nervous breakdown.
That was Eddie Cochran, Nervous Breakdown. If you feel you may be suffering from a nervous breakdown, perhaps you could use a medicine show tonic. They originated in England, and one of the earliest ones was Richard Stoughton's Elixir, all the way back in 1712. They became more popular in the 1800s here in the States, where salesmen would travel with medicine shows, selling their tonics in between acts. Lydia E. Pinkham had her portrait on her vegetable compound. It was first marketed in 1875, and she became one of the most recognized women in America. There were the Kilmer brothers, Andrew and Jonas, grandfathers to Val. They moved to Binghamton, New York in 1879 and started selling their swamp root kidney and liver medicine. There was old Dr. Kaufman's great sulfur bitters, and a lot of these were a good way to get around the temperance laws. They had a high alcohol content, but they were sold for medicinal use only. Perhaps the most famous one is the one whose name has become synonymous with phony medical quackery. It was started by a cowboy by the name of Clark Stanley. He called himself the Rattlesnake King and sold snake oil liniment that was supposedly good for man and beast. He said it cures frostbites, bruises, sore throats, the bites of animals, insects, or reptile. It's good for every living thing a liniment should be good for. Step right up and buy a bottle now, folks. Next up, James Brown. From his Live at the Apollo record, he had to convince Sid Nathan to let him make it. He said that no one could really appreciate him till they seen his live show. Sid didn't think anyone would buy a live album, but James finally did convince him, but he had to pay for it himself. It was the best $5,700 James Brown ever spent. 66 weeks on the Billboard Top 100 charts. Here's James Brown on I'll Go Crazy. That was James Brown and his famous Flames, I'll Go Crazy. You know, celebrities who've had to go away for a while is not a new phenomenon. Ernest Hemingway, for example, was convinced that people were out to assassinate him. His wife, Mary, tricked him into a mental hospital by telling him it was to treat his high blood pressure. He got shock therapy and maybe a dozen other treatments. It didn't help. It left him more paranoid, delusional, and depressed. He was afraid that his wife was going to put him away again, which many people believe is what led him to take his own life with his shotgun in July of '61. Charlie Mingus spent some time away, though he later claimed that he'd only gone in to get papers declaring himself incompetent to get out of a contract with Joey Gallo. Whatever the reason, he spent some time in Bellevue and was diagnosed as a paranoid schizophrenic. You probably all know the stories of Rocky Erickson and Syd Barrett, but you might not know the stories of Bud Powell and Charlie Parker. Both are great jazz musicians, and both were troubled by demons. Bud Powell had over 40 treatments of shock therapy, and his piano playing never recovered from him. Charlie Parker was a long-time junkie, and on July 29th, 1946, he fell asleep while smoking and set his hotel bed on fire. He wandered through the hotel lobby wearing nothing but socks. He was arrested by the LAPD for indecent exposure, resisting arrest, and arson. He was eventually transferred to Camarillo State Hospital to take a so-called rest cure. It was there that he wrote the song, Relaxing at Camarillo, which we're enjoying right now. Rehab didn't take with Charlie Parker. When he got out, he returned to drinking and drugging. He died in 1955 from drug-related pneumonia and an ulcer.
Oh, if you don't mind, we never use words here like nuts, bugs, screwy, goofy, loony. We'd like it very much if you didn't use them either.
I'm sorry, I'm a greenhorn inmate.
You're a patient, not an inmate.
This is an insane asylum, is it not?
Not exactly. This is a mental hospital, and we're dealing with mental hygiene.
This is Theme Time Radio Hour, and we're talking about madness. I'm almost frightened to go to the phones, but I think we should. Hello, caller, you're on the air.
Hey, Bob, I'm enjoying the Madness Show.
Well, thanks a lot. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name's Helena Discar, and I'm calling from Rolling Oaks, Virginia.
Well, what can I do for you, Helena?
Well, I got a problem with this guy I work with. He never shows me any respect. He's two-faced. He says one thing to me and another thing to everyone else. He talks loudly. He takes the last bagel in the break room, and he doesn't like Catholics.
Are you a Catholic, Helena?
No, but I believe in live and let live.
Okay, what can I do for you?
Up to now, I've been biting my tongue. I can't stand the guy, but I gotta work with him. I'm not gonna rock the boat. I get so mad, I find myself yelling in the mirror. I figure that can't be good. What should I do?
Well, Helena, I gotta tell you, you're skating on some pretty thin ice. Repressed anger is nothing to mess with. If a person represses their anger, they tend to develop passive aggression. This typically consists of sarcasm, criticism. You can blame others. You could be withholding and controlling. The person, even though they're radiating strong or violent anger, will not even admit that they are angry. I've seen that before. Take my advice, Helena. Step up to that guy and give him your honest opinion. He might not like you, but it sounds like it's no great loss. Your mirror will thank you, and you'll sleep better at night.
Well, thanks a lot, Bob. That seems like good advice. Hey, can you play a song for me before I go?
Well, is it about craziness?
You betcha. It's Madness by Prince Buster.
I'll be glad to, Helena. Go give him hell.
Thanks a lot, Bob.
Thanks for calling. So here he is, Prince Buster and Madness.
Madness, madness, they call it madness. Madness, madness, they call it madness. It's plain to see, that is what they mean to me. Madness, madness, I call it madness. Madness, madness, they call it madness. Madness, madness, they call it madness. I'm about to explain that someone is using his brain. Madness, madness, they call it madness. Propaganda ministers, I've got a aim in view. I'm gonna walk all over you, 'cause madness, gladness. But if this is madness, man, I know I'm filled with gladness. It's gonna be rougher, it's gonna be tougher, and I won't be the one who's gonna suffer. Oh no, I won't be the one who's gonna suffer. You are gonna be the one.
That was Prince Buster and Madness, where the ska group got their name. One man who was no stranger to madness was Bill Gaines. He was the editor for EC Comics.
It's a gas!
He had a series of horror comics in the 50s. He was targeted by the government, who said that his comics were ruining the morals of America's young people. He was forced to water down all of his books. He had one humor comic called Mad. He changed it to a magazine so it wouldn't be subject to the comics code of authority. It became a huge hit, and generations of kids got their first lessons in comedy from the usual gang of idiots that he assembled. He never sold advertising in the magazine while he was alive, and there were no sacred cows. Bill Gaines, madman of free speech. This is Theme Time Radio Hour, and we're talking about crazy people. People in mood swings sometimes suffer from bipolar disorder. In bipolar disorder, each mood swing is called an episode. There are 4 main ones. There's depression, there's mania, that's the upside, where you think you can do anything. There's hypomania, and that's a milder form of mania. And the 4th one is mixed mood. That's when you go back and forth between mania and depression, sometimes even in the same day. It's when those 2 emotions meet each other head on, where you have problems. It's like the weather, where a hot front meets a cold front, you're gonna get a thunderstorm. So when mania meets depression, you're bound to get some emotional thunder. It's not unusual, and only needs to be treated in extreme cases. They used to call that manic depression, or I can't imagine Jimi Hendrix writing a song called Bipolar Disorder. Peggy Lee was spotted in the Chicago nightclub by Benny Goodman. He hired her. Then 2 years later, she left the band and went off with Ben E. King. That didn't work out, so she took up with Benny Goodman's guitarist, Dave Barber. Some of her best records were made with Dave's quartet, and this is one of them. Recorded in the late 40s for Capitol Records, a song written by Walter Donaldson, You're Driving Me Crazy.
You're driving me crazy. What did I do? What did I do? My tears for you make everything hazy, clouding the skies of blue. How true were the friends who were near me to cheer me, believe me, they knew. But you were the kind who would hurt me, desert me when I needed you. Oh, you're driving me crazy. What did I do to you? What did I do to you?
That was Peggy Lee, and you're driving me crazy. One way to drive somebody crazy is to gaslight them. Patrick Hamilton wrote a play called Gaslight. In it, there's a murderous husband who tries to drive his fragile wife crazy as he searches for a hidden trove of her family jewels. It was a big hit movie in 1944, starring Charles Boyer and Ingrid Bergman. The title Gaslight refers to the way that he would dip the gaslights in the house for no apparent reason and make his wife think it was a delusion. When his wife would mention it, he would tell her that he didn't notice it. It must be all in her head. Now the term has come to mean a very specific type of mental abuse. Like if you dim the lights in the room and someone says, "Did you dim the lights in the room?" And you say, "What? I didn't dim any lights in any room." You can see how that would drive somebody crazy. Maybe that's what happened to Bo Diddley, at least just right before he wrote this song. Here he is, Elias McDaniel, a.k.a. Bo Diddley, from the winter of '56 and Crackin' Up.
You're always hollering about where I've been. You're always screaming about the money I spend. What's bugging you? Yeah, you crack it up. I do your laundry and your cooking too. What more woman can a man like me do? You bugging me. Yeah, yeah, you crack it up.
That was the late Bo Diddley and Crackin' Up. One guy who was accused of cracking up was Jimmy Pearsall. He became a professional baseball player at 18, signing with the Boston Red Sox in '48. On May 24th, 1952, just before the game against the Yankees, he got in a fistfight with Yankee infielder Billy Martin. After that, he scuffled with his teammate, Mickey McDermott. The final straw came when Jimmy Pearsall spanked the 4-year-old son of his teammate, Vern Stevens, during a game in the Red Sox clubhouse. The 4-year-old son tried to tweak his nose, and he poured lemonade down his shirt. You could see Jimmy's position. Boy, you need a spanking. There were a number of incidents like this, and he was sent down to the minor league. He got in a lot of trouble down in the minor leagues and served some time in the Westboro State Hospital. He was diagnosed with manic depression, but he still returned to baseball by the opening of the '53 season. And get this, he finished 9th in the voting for the MVP award. And the next year, he was the Sox's regular center fielder, taking over for Dom DiMaggio. He was traded to the Indians in 1960, and during the Memorial Day doubleheader, he was ejected in the first game for heckling umpire Larry Knapp. And after catching the final out of the second game, he spun around and threw the ball at the White Sox scoreboard. He was ejected from that game too. The incidents increased, and he was ordered to receive psychiatric treatment. He went over to the Mets in '63, and he was remembered for one incident. After hitting his 100th homer, he ran the bases backwards. Casey Stengel fired him 2 days later. What took 2 days to figure out? Jimmy Pearsall wrote his autobiography, and it was called Fear Strikes Out. It was made into a motion picture. Anthony Perkins from the movie Psycho played Jimmy Pearsall. That ought to be a clue he was a little crazy. Carl Malden played his overbearing father, a portrayal that Pearsall didn't like. For many years, Jimmy Pearsall did sports talk radio in Chicago. He wasn't a shock jock, but he may have had shock therapy.
I'm fine.
Was there anything wrong a moment ago? You're not holding anything back from me, are you, John?
No, sir.
Think another shock treatment might help?
Not unless you strap me in a chair and throw the switch yourself all the way. I've learned my lesson, believe me.
Few things go together as well as country and western music and crazy people. Now let me explain. I mean, there's a number of country artists who have recorded songs about people incarcerated. We're going to play 3 of them during today's show. This first one was written by Aubrey Mayhew and the man who's singing it, Johnny Paycheck. Johnny was playing a talent contest by the age of 9. While he was in the service, he was court-martialed for hitting a superior officer. He spent a couple of years in military prison. He worked in the bands of some of the most famous country musicians, Porter Wagner, Ray Price, Baron Young. He was the baseball player for George Jones for a number of years. I'm sorry, bass player. I was still thinking about Jimmy Pearsall. In 1966, he hooked up with the aforementioned Aubrey Mohawk. Mayhew. They started Little Darling Records, and this is one of the records they released. Afterwards, the label bottomed out, and so did Johnny. He was drinking heavily and living on the streets of Los Angeles. 6 years later, he had a #1 song with Take This Job and Shove It. But that's another story for another theme. Right now, here's Johnny Paycheck, and like me, you'll recover in time.
So the love you left me for didn't turn out so well, and I guess you know by now what it's like to live in hell. I heard they brought you here because you lost your mind. But like me, you recover in time. When he left you, I know what you went through. 'Cause when you left me, I went through it too. This jacket they make us wear is not so bad, you'll find. And like me, you'll recover in time. Why, it was just yesterday they let me out to play. In just one short year, I've come so far. So remember what I say. You won't always be this way. You can be like me if you try real hard. Since we both shared the same name not so long ago, it seems strange they would put you and me so close. If this dream could just turn to be real. time, then like her, I'll recover in time. I know I'll surely recover in time.
That's Johnny Paycheck, and like me, you'll recover in time. We've talked about Annie Ross before, and we've actually played the instrumental that this next song is based on. A lot of people are unfamiliar with the way that Annie and other vocalese singers would take jazz solos and put words to them. Well, this is one of the most famous ones. Annie takes Wardell Gray's Twisted and adds some popular lyrics. You've heard this song covered by both Bette Midler and Joni Mitchell, but here's the original from a number of years before she joined Dave Lambert and John Hendricks, and Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross, who were kind of the Crosby, Stills, and Nash of jazz. Here's Annie Ross and Twisted.
My analyst told me that I was right out of my head the way he described it. He said I'd be better dead than alive. I didn't listen to his jive. I knew all along he was all wrong, and I knew that he thought I was crazy, but I'm not. Oh no. My analyst told me that I was right out of my head. He said I need treatment, but I'm not that easily led. He said I was the type that was most inclined when out of his sight to be out of my mind. And he thought I was nuts. No more is our answer, but so no. They say as a child I appeared a little bit wild with all my crazy ideas, but I knew what was happening. I knew I was a genius. What's so strange if you know that you're a wizard at 3? I knew that this was meant for me. I heard little children were supposed to sleep tight. That's why I drank a fifth of vodka one night. My parents got frantic, didn't know what to do. But I saw some crazy scenes before I came to. Now do you think I was crazy? I may have been only 3, but I was swinging. They all after Dave, Graham Bell. They all after Edison and also an Einstein. So why should I feel sorry if they just couldn't understand the reasoning and the logic that went on in my head? I had a brain, it was insane, so just let them laugh at me when I refused to ride on all those double-decker buses, all because there was no driver on the top. Told me that I was right out of my head the way he described it. He said I'd be better dead than alive. I didn't listen to his jive. I knew all along he was all wrong, and I knew that he thought I was crazy, but I'm not. Oh no. My analyst told me that I was right out of my head, but I said, dear doctor, I think that it's you instead, 'cause I have got a thing that's unique and new. It proves that I'll have a laugh slap on you, 'cause instead of one head, I got 2, and you know 2 heads are better than 1.
That was Annie Ross, along with Art Blakey on the drums, and Twisted. Something else that's twisted is a piece of leftover dough that is put in an oven and salted. I'm talking about pretzels. But where do they come from? Well, in 610 AD, an Italian monk didn't want to waste the scraps of leftover dough. He rolled and twisted them in the shapes of his students, who folded their arms across their chest when praying. He baked the dough to a golden brown and called the finished product twisters, which translates in Italian to prezzolis. Pretiolas, which is Latin for little rewards. The little Priola journeyed beyond French and Italian wine regions. It hiked the Alps, made its way through Austria, crossed over into Germany, and became what we know today, the pretzel. Then there's another theory. In the 1600s, a man named George Pretzel let the bread cook too long. His children who were hungry ate the hardened crust, salting it to give it flavor. These pretzels became popular in his neighborhood. It became a convenient way to hand out food to the poor. Those who gave George's pretzels away were considered particularly blessed. They were packed into coffins as a burial blessing. That's why you see so many pretzels in coffins. A number of paintings from this time showed the marriage knot as a pretzel, tying together two prominent families. The couple would wish upon one and break it like a wishbone, then eat it to signify its unity. From George's Humble Pretzel, here's where we get the phrase, tying the knot. Whenever I hear the song Twisted, I think of two things, Wardell Gray and pretzels.
Once you get used to it, insanity can be the most normal thing in the world, you know?
This is Theme Time Radio Hour. We're talking about insanity, lunacy, nuttiness, craziness, the insane, and pretzels. Here's a song about a guy going crazy, written by Doc Thomas and Mort Schumann. Andrew and Ken Tibbs make up half the Tibbs brothers on this record. The other two performing harmony vocals are Doc and Mort. Doc Thomas thought that Andrew Tibbs was one of the best blues singers he ever heard. Doc said Tibbs was small and thin and had an innocent and angelic face that was marred by a knife scar that ran down his entire cheek. Looked like a choir boy gone bad. The combination of good and evil in his looks and the bend and quiver in his voice drove the girls crazy. Here's Andrew, along with his brother Ken. Doc and Mort helping out the Tibbs brothers. I'm going crazy.
I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. I'm losing my mind. Losing my mind. Ain't slept away. Ain't slept away. Since you left me behind. Putting pepper in my coffee. Sugar on my eggs. I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. Pacing the floor. Off my shoes. Can't take it no more. Wearing slippers on my head. Gloves on my feet. I'm going crazy. Snap went my mind. Boom went my heart. It happened all at once. Then came the tears. After you said we must part. Well, you left me. You left me. You left me. You left me. And love fell apart. I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. Please come on. Please come home. I'm cracking up. I'm cracking up. Can't stay alone. Give my barrel key a bone. Seeds to my dog. I'm going Please come on home. Please come on home. I'm cracking up. I'm cracking up. Can't stay alone. Give my parent key a bone. Seeds to my dog. I'm going crazy. Oh yeah.
That was the Tibbs brothers. I'm going crazy. If you were listening last week, you heard us play The Mighty Sparrow. We've told you before how Calypso is kind of like a musical commentary on the daily goings-on. This song is no exception. George P. Metesky terrorized New York City for 16 years during the 40s and 50s. He was known as the Mad Bomber. Here's The Mighty Sparrow, the Mad Bomber.
You might have heard of the tragedy that took place in New York City. You might have heard of the tragedy that took place in New York City. Everybody was in a fright. They couldn't rest in peace whether day or night. Time bombs were set from place to place. You should be there to see cold sweat in people's face. Look here, look there, look everywhere by the papers and get the talk. This crazy madman really ain't care, putting bombs all over New York. So the FBI try every trick in the book, walking with machine gun. When they hold the guy and they thought was a crook, was a madman having some fun.
George B. Metesky. He left his first bomb at the Con Ed building over on West 64th Street. It was in a wooden toolbox with a note that said, "Con Edison crooks, this is for you." The bomb never went off. The police thought the fact that he left a note means that he never meant that one to go off. A second one was found a few blocks away, almost a year later. He cut letters out of a newspaper and wrote a note threatening Con Ed, the police, and others. On March 29, 1950, 10 years after the first bomb was found, a third unexploded bomb was discovered. Finally, one exploded. This was in a phone booth outside the New York Public Library. Then another one exploded at Grand Central. Between 1950 and 57, the mad bomber planted 31 bombs. 22 of them exploded. 15 people were injured, but no one was killed. He targeted Grand Central, Penn Station, Radio City, the library, Port Authority, the RCA building, and movie theaters. They finally found him. They went to talk to him at his home in Waterbury, Connecticut. On January 21st, 1957, he answered in his pajamas. He said he knew why they were there and took the police to his bomb factory. He then changed into his suit and went to jail. If you're wondering why he started bombing Con Ed, it was because he said they caused his tuberculosis when he worked for them. He was found incompetent to stand trial and was held at Bellevue's psychiatric wing. He died peacefully in 1994 at the age of 90.
So look here, look there, look everywhere by the papers and get it off. This crazy madman really ain't care, putting bombs all over New York. The FBI try every trick in the book. They walk in with machine gun. When they snatched the guy and they thought was a crook, was a madman having some fun.
That was the Mighty Sparrow, the Mad Bomber. Here on Theme Time Radio Hour, Little Walter sings about being a crazy mixed-up kid in our next song, but he was 28 years old when he recorded it. Walter basically reinvented the harmonica. When he was growing up, he was obsessed with the Louis Jordan records and would practice playing Louis saxophone solos on his harmonica. He moved to Chicago in 1946, hooking up with Muddy Waters 2 years later. The two of them made musical history together. Sadly, Walter had a vicious temper and a thirst for liquor. He was involved in a street fight and died from its after effects. He was only 37 years old. He was definitely a man living in a crazy mixed-up world. Here's Little Walter.
Well, I'm a crazy mixed-up kid, and I love to dance like this. Well, I love to rock and roll because it satisfies my soul. Well, I love to jump and shout, and it really knocked me out. Give me music with a beat, it'll knock me off my feet. I don't care what you heard, this is a crazy mixed up world. Crazy mixed up world. Crazy mixed up world. Crazy mixed up world. I'm in a crazy mixed up world. Loosen up down inside, beats begin to fly. My heart go bump, bump, bump. Music make me jump, jump, jump. I can't control myself no more. Music got me on a go. Well, if I'm crazy, ain't you heard? I'm in a crazy mixed up world. Crazy mixed up world. Crazy mixed up world.
That was Little Walter, Crazy Mixed Up World. One of the most famous asylums was St. Mary's in Bethlehem, also known as the Bethlehem Royal Hospital, or perhaps most famously by its nickname, Bedlam. It was founded in 1247 and began accepting mentally ill patients in 1403. There wasn't much treatment to speak of, mostly restrainment. The noise inside was deafening. The hospital quickly became infamous for its poor conditions. Cesspools were filled and overflowing. Patients were chained to the floor and the walls. People were given admission to the mental wing of the hospital. They were given long sticks to poke the patients. That's where the phrases, poke you in the eye with a stick, and I wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole come from. The nickname Bedlam became synonymous not only with madhouses in general, but with the state of madness itself. Fortunately, conditions became a little bit better by the time Dinah Washington sang this next song. About dressing in the latest style, walking down Broadway wearing nothing but a smile, seeing all kinds of little men, although they're never there, tried to push the A-train, put whiskey in my hair. I'm a girl you can't excuse. Last night I was 5 feet tall. Today I'm 8'10". Every time I fall downstairs, I float right back up again. Dinah Washington, leaving her mind behind. Blow Top Blues.
I've got bad news, baby, and you're the first to know. Yes, I've got bad news, baby, and you're the first to know. I discovered this morning that my top is about to go. I've been rocking on my feet and talking all out of my head. Yes, I've been rocking on my feet and talking all out of my head. Yes, and when I get through talking, can't remember a thing I said. Dressed in the latest styles. Now I'm walking down Broadway wearing nothing but a smile. I see all kinds of little men, although they're never there. I tried to push the A-train and poured whiskey in my hair. I'm a girl you can't excuse. I've got those blow-top blues. Last night I was 5 feet tall. Today I'm 8 feet 10. And every time I fall downstairs, I float right up again. When someone turned the lights on me, it like to drove me blind. I woke up in Bellevue, but I left my mind behind. I'm a gal who blew a fuse. I've got those blow-top blues.
That was Dinah Washington and Blow Top Blues, written by jazz critic Leonard Feather. Dinah talks about waking up in Bellevue. Let me tell you a little bit about that place. Originally it was built to take care of the impoverished in 18th century New York. The building was ready for occupancy in 1736. Many medical achievements were pioneered at Bellevue. Among them, the first maternity ward, which was established in 1799. Bellevue had the first ambulance service that was linked to a hospital. They had the first children's clinic in 1878. They established a dedicated pavilion for the clinically insane. They were the first to open a pavilion for alcoholics. They were the first to treat tuberculosis. And in 1962, they had the first ICU. Every year, they treat over 27,000 patients. They also handle over 89,000 emergency service visits, as well as 300,000 outpatient visits. And of course, it was a favorite threat of Ralph Cramden's.
I won't be gone long, killer.
I call you killer, 'cause you slay me.
And I'm calling Bellevue 'cause you're nuts.
You know what? I'm looking at the clock, and we got too much madness and not enough time. I hope the powers that be won't get mad, but we're gonna run a little long this week. Well, I promised you 3 country singers who would sing about going around the bend. Well, here's another one. This was from 1971 on the RCA Victor label, and it's sung by the Thin Man from West Plains. Well, it never turned out to be a giant song, but it was an important song for Porter Wagner, who wrote it after a 1966 stay in a mental institution. Porter said, "My doctor felt like I needed to be there. I went off the beaten track for a bit. It didn't mean I had to be crazy to be admitted. Just to make it that I didn't go crazy, get my mind leveled out, and I never had that problem again." He came out feeling better, and with a song. The Rubber Room, by Porter Wagner.
In a building tall, with a stone wall around, there's a rubber room. When a man sees things and hears sounds that's not there, he's headed for the rubber room. Illusions in a twisted mind to save from self-destruction. It's the rubber room, where a man can run into the wall till his strength makes him fall and lie still and wait for help in the rubber room. From his blurry vision of doom, a psycho in the rubber room. The man in the room right next to mine screams a woman's name, hits the wall in vain. He's in the rubber room. I hear footsteps pounding on the floor. God, I hope they don't stop at my door. I'm in the rubber room. Now they've come to get me, but they find I'm a screaming pretty words, trying to make them rhyme. I'm in the rubber room. Psycho. I'm in the rubber room. The rubber room.
That was Porter Wagner. You know what's interesting about Porter? He wore the great nudie suits, and he went the extra step. He had the letters H and I in the lining of his jacket in foot-tall letters. So when people would come up to him and want to take a picture, he'd throw open his jacket so it would say hi. Porter Wagner. Man was always thinking.
You hear voices?
Yes. The man on TV.
Does he talk to you often?
Every time I turn on TV.
In ancient societies, mental illness was considered demonic possession, and it was treated via exorcism. Another treatment or cure was trepanation. Believe it or not, this is drilling holes in the skull. Trepan skulls, dating back 10,000 years, have been found with multiple holes, suggesting that physical recovery had a better rate than you might have thought. Then again, maybe they were just ancient bowling balls. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, attributed mental illness to the imbalance of their humors, bodily fluids, blood, bile, water, and phlegm. The early Christians returned mental illness to spiritualism because they said it was caused by a disturbed spirit as a punishment for sin. Back to exorcism again. Islam also treated it differently. There's a verse in the Quran that says, "Do not give your property, which God assigned you, to manage to the insane, but feed and clothe the insane with his property and tell splendid words to him." This led to the establishment of Islamic mental hospitals as early as the 8th century. Nowadays, we have Dr. Phil. There was a famous song in the 60s. It's called "They're Coming to Take Me Away, Ha Ha."
Coming to take me away, ha ha, they're coming to take me away, ho ho, hee hee, ha ha, to the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time, and I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats, and they're coming to take me away, ha ha!
It was by a guy named Napoleon the 14th. His name was actually Jerry Samuels, and his story is pretty interesting. But I want to tell you somebody else's story, because everyone knows that song, and they might not know this one. This one's from 1947 by a woman named Beatrice Kay. She's singing along with Mitchell Ayers and his orchestra. It was on a Columbia label, and the B-side was Mention My Name in Sheboygan. We're going to play that on an all Sheboygan show. Here she is, Beatrice Kay, and a song that's probably the forerunner of "They're Coming to Take Me Away, Ha Ha." Hooray, hooray, I'm going away. Here's Beatrice Kay.
I'm going away with the man in the little white coat. I'm all dressed up like a Christmas packet, cozy and warm in a cute straight jacket. Hooray, hooray, I'm going away, and I'll bet you're wondering where. Well, I just heard from Napoleon B. He wants to have a little talk with me. Hooray, hooray, I'm going away with the man in the little white coat. Hooray, hooray, I'm going away with the man in the little white coat. I'm all dressed up in a brand new bonnet, ribbon of red and a bird cage on it. I'm only a bird in a gilded cage. It's the place that I call home. The window's large with the nicest view. The bars are pink and all the locks are blue. Hooray, hooray, I'm going away with the man in the little white coat. I'm going away with the little white coat in the man. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. You know what I am? I'm a little broken record.
That was Beatrice Kay. Hooray, hooray, I'm going away. One guy who knew a lot about being inside a mental institution was Ken Kesey. He was born in 1935 in La Junta, Colorado, but soon moved to Oregon. Graduated from college there in 1957 and earned a little extra money by doing drug testing. This was in the late 50s, and he was gobbling down LSD, mescaline, and psilocybin. This will become important later. Hold on to this information. He still needed to earn more money, so he got a job as a night attendant on the psychiatric ward of a hospital. By watching the patients there, he became convinced that they were locked into a system that was anything but therapeutic. These experiences became the raw material for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It was published in 1962 and was enthusiastically reviewed. The stage and screen rights were acquired by Kirk Douglas. Kirk played the lead on Broadway, but the movie wouldn't come out for another 12 years. And by that time, Kirk's son was producing it, and the lead role went to Jack Nicholson, who tore up the screen. Well, Ken Kesey didn't sit still, though. He was working on another book, and took a bunch of friends of his, called them the Merry Pranksters, and put them on an International Harvester bus, painted in wild colors. It was wired for sound, and driven by Neil Cassidy, whom you might know as Dean Moriarty of Jack Kerouac's On the Road. They drove from La Honda, California to New York and back. Once they were back in California, they started the acid tests. These were parties with music, strobe lights, and Kool-Aid laced with LSD. I told you that information would be important. These were wild parties and the start of the psychedelic scene. As a matter of fact, the Grateful Dead were the house band. Well, this was before they were known as the Grateful Dead. Kesey kept writing and did many other things. He raised cattle and sheep, he grew blueberries, he even coached wrestling at several local schools. He finally succumbed to liver cancer on November 10th, 2001. Ken Kesey, psychedelic pioneer of the insane.
Well, a man can't tamper with the mind and live in a mental hospital and subject himself to all kinds of tests and expect to come out of it sane. John is a catatonic schizophrenic. What a tragedy.
Here's a wild record with a surprising person at the helm.
Now I'm Napoleon at Waterloo. I think I'll cut some paper dolls for you. I'm a big tomcat chasing Mickey Mouse. It's fun to be living in the crazy house. Fun, fun, fun. Yes, it is now. Fun, fun, fun. I'm a-telling you, fun, fun, fun. Better believe it, fun to be living in the crazy house. Come on and chase me, I'm a butterfly. Where is the champ? I'll punch him in the eye. There's a horse on my neck. Oh no, it's a louse. It's fun to be living in the crazy house. Fun, 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 yes. Fun, fun, fun. I ain't jiving you. Fun, fun, fun. Yes, now, fun to be living in the crazy house. I'm gonna swim on down to Chinatown and lock myself in jail. I'm gonna stick my nose up in the sky and rip my pants on a rusty nail. I see a monkey eating sauerkraut. There's Julius Caesar with his shirt tail out. I'm the king of Siam without a single doubt. It's fun to be living in the crazy house. Like a big fat hound on my hands and bended knees. I'm gonna chase a flea up a tree, make noise like a rat eating Limburger cheese. Woo! I see a monkey eating sauerkraut. There's Julius Caesar with the shirt tail out. I'm the king of Siam without a single doubt. It's fun to be living in the crazy. You can have a ball in the crazy house.
That was Red Fox and Crazy House here on Theme Time Radio Hour.
Crazy people, crazy people like me go crazy old people like you.
Here's a man that some call the William Faulkner of jazz. Now, I got to tell you, I've heard this guy play since the 60s, and I've never heard anybody call him the William Faulkner of jazz. But there it is in a book. I mean, somebody just wrote that. I can't imagine anyone calling him the William Faulkner of jazz. I mean, that'd be like calling Garnett Mims the Gabriel Garcia Marquez of soul music. It's just not done. I'm getting excited over nothing. Let me just play the record. By the way, I consider William Faulkner to be the Mose Allison of literature. Here they are, together again. Mose Allison and William Faulkner singing the Percy Mayfield song, Lost Mind.
If you would be so kind to help me find my mind, I want to thank you in advance. Know this before you start, my soul's been torn apart. I lost my mind in a wild romance. My future is my past. This memory will last. I'll live to love the days gone by. Each day that come and go is like the one before. My mind's lost till the day I die. Words would fail me if I tried to describe her, though I know she's not all she should have been. She was the devil with the face of an angel. She was sweet and cruel, cruel and sweet as homemade sin. If you would be so kind to help me find my mind, I want to thank you in advance. Know this before you start. My soul's been torn apart. I lost my mind in a wild romance. Would fail me if I tried to describe her, though I know she's not all she should have been. She was the devil with the face of an angel. She was sweet and cruel, cruel and sweet as homemade sin. If you would be so kind to help me find my mind, I want to thank you in advance. Know this before you start. My soul's been torn apart. I lost my mind in a wild romance. I lost my mind in a wild romance.
That was Mose Allison and Lost Mind, here in our Lost Mind version of Theme Time Radio Hour. One Way to Lose Your Mind, it's from Alzheimer's disease. It's a progressive neurodegenerative disease. It's named after a German doctor named Dr. Alois Alzheimer. In 1906, Dr. Alzheimer noticed the changes in a woman's brain tissue. She had died of an unusual mental illness. Further research found more about this condition, and we're still learning today. They say the 3 genes have been discovered that cause early onset of Alzheimer's. Symptoms include memory loss, language deterioration, impairability to mentally manipulate visual information, memory loss, poor judgment, confusion, memory loss, restlessness, mood swings, and memory loss. We got time for just 2 more, and here's the third in our trilogy of demented country songs. This was written by Leon Payne. He's the man who wrote Lost Highway and I Love You Because. He wrote a number of famous songs. This one was inspired by Charles Whitman's 1966 sniper attack at the University of Texas. That's a whole story unto itself, and you should look that up. Suffice to say, it was horrifying, and it affected Leon Payne greatly. According to rumor, no one was allowed to record this song until after Leon passed away. Eddie Noack was the first to record it, but I've always enjoyed this version, though enjoy's an odd word to use, and you'll get that when you hear the song. This version came out on the GRC label by a man named Jack Cattell, and I know nothing else about him. My copy of this record has the same thing on both sides. That's confidence in the song. Here's Jack Cattell and a song that shares the name of an Alfred Hitchcock movie that stars the man who played Jimmy Pearsall in Fear Strikes Out. You see how the whole show fits together, folks? Here's Psycho.
Can Mary fry some fish, Mama? I'm as hungry as can be. Oh Lordy, how I wish, Mama, that you could keep the baby quiet, 'cause my head is killing me. I saw my ex again last night, Mama. She was at the dance at Miller's store. She was with that Jackie White, Mama. I killed them both, and they're buried under Jenkins' sycamore. You think I'm psycho, don't you, Mama? Mama, pour me a cup. You think I'm psycho, don't you, Mama? You'd better let him lock me up. Don't hand me Johnny's pup, Mama, 'cause I might squeeze him too tight. I'm having crazy dreams again, Mama, so let me tell you about last night. I woke up in Johnny's room, Mama, standing right there by his bed, with my hands around his throat, Mama, wishing both of us were dead. You think I'm psycho, don't you, Mama? I just killed Johnny's pup. You think I'm psycho, don't you, Mama? You'd better let him lock me up. You know that little girl next door, Mama? I believe her name was Betty Clark. Oh, don't tell me that she's dead, Mama, 'cause I just saw her in the park. We were sitting on a bench, Mama, thinking up a game to play. Seems I was holding a wrench, Mama, and then my mind just walked away. You think I'm psycho, don't you, Mama? I didn't mean to break your cup. You think I'm psycho, don't you, Mama? Oh, Mama, why don't you get up?
That was Jack Cattell and Psycho. I didn't mean to break your cup. This is Theme Time Radio Hour, covering breakdowns, lies, and smile. Frances Farmer was born in 1913 in Seattle, Washington. Her mother was named Lillian. Lillian made national news during World War I by crossing a Rhode Island red, a white leghorn, and an Andalusian blue to create a red, white, and blue chicken, which she thought should replace the eagle as the national emblem. When Frances was in West Seattle High School, she won a $100 prize from Scholastic Magazine for an essay she wrote. That essay was called God Dies. The essay caused a national uproar. Frances was used as an example of what was wrong with America's youth. One Baptist minister said, "If the young people of this country are going to hell, Frances Farmer is surely leading them there." She remained controversial. In March of 1935, she won a trip to the Soviet Union by selling subscriptions for the Voice of Action, a leftist newspaper. She got a round-trip bus ticket to New York and passes by steamer to Moscow. Again, there was national outcry, but this time, her mother even turned against her, claiming that she'd been corrupted by her school teachers. When she got back from Russia, there was no point in going back home, so she cashed in her return ticket to Seattle and stayed in New York. A few weeks later, Paramount Pictures gave her a studio contract. She made several movies and had a year-long marriage to Leif Erikson. That's the actor. She developed a reputation of being difficult, but she was a good actress, getting rave reviews on Broadway and Clifford Odets' Golden Boy. She returned to motion pictures, started drinking heavily, and became dependent on amphetamines. On the set of one of her movies, she slapped a studio hairdresser for making advances towards her and broke her jaw. She was arrested for assault. When she finally showed up in court, she had bloodshot eyes. She looked drunk and disheveled. She argued with the judge, and she got 180 days in jail. She had come in from the movie set, where she'd been playing a beat-up character who was drunk and disheveled. She wasn't allowed to call her lawyer, and she went wild. She knocked a policeman to the floor for also making advances, bruised another one for tearing off her blouse, and socked a matron, screaming as she was being carried out of the courtroom, "Have you ever had a broken heart?" She spent 1 day in jail and then was sent to the mental institution, where she would spend the next 7 years. She was diagnosed as being manic-depressive, a split personality, schizophrenic with paranoid delusions. She received insulin shock. That's where they give you overdoses of insulin to introduce convulsions in coma, and the belief that that could jumpstart the brain into normal functioning. She received multiple shock therapy treatments, 2 or 3 of them a week, for 3 months. When she was released, she was lost, and soon after that she was arrested again, this time for vagrancy. Finally, in 1950, she was released. She got a job in a laundry before embarking on a brief comeback attempt, including a couple of appearances on The Ed Sullivan Show. She relocated to Indianapolis, where she would stay the rest of her life. Her behavior never totally stabilized. She was arrested twice more for drunk driving and finally passed away on August 1st, 1970. Kurt Cobain wrote a song about her called Frances Farmer Will Have Her Revenge on Seattle. She'll come back as fire to burn all the liars and leave a blanket of ash on the ground.
It's not relieving to know that you're leaving as soon as you get paid. It's not relaxing to hear that you're resting, never you guessing. It's not soothing to know that you sue me as soon as it sounds said. You're not false witness, I hope you're still with us. Say if the flowers drown. Our favorite patient, display of patience, 'cause he's got a good sound. So come back as fire to burn all the liars, leave a blanket of ash on the ground. Promise to comfort in me inside. Promise to comfort in me inside.
That was Frances Farmer. Will have her revenge on Seattle. Farewell, Frances. Farewell, Kurt. Time flies when you're talking crazy, and we gotta get out of here. But I'm gonna leave you with the words of the man who was the voice of the barroom, poet of the gutter, and the Shakespeare of the alleyway. Here's a poem by Charles Bukowski, and it's called Some People. Some people never go crazy. Me, sometimes I'll lie down behind the couch for 3 or 4 days. They'll find me there. It's cherub, they'll say, and they pour wine down my throat. Rub my chest, sprinkle me with oils. Then I'll rise with a roar, rant and rage, curse them and the universe. As I send them scattering over the lawn, I'll feel much better. Sit down to toast and eggs, hum a little tune, suddenly become as lovable as a pink, overfed whale. Some people never go crazy. What truly horrible lives they must lead. Charles Bukowski, voice of the madman. Remember, in the words of Friedrich Nietzsche, madness is rare in individuals, but in groups, parties, nations, and ages, it is the rule. We'll be back again next week. We'll see you then.
Thanks for listening to Theme Time Radio Hour with your host, Bob Dylan. Produced by Eddie Gorodetsky, and the associate producer is Anita Fitzgerald. Continuity is by Eats Martin, and the editor is Damian Rodriguez. The supervising editor is Rob McCumber. The research team is Diane Lapson and Bernie Bernstein, with additional research courtesy of Lynn Sheridan, April Hayes, Callie Gladman, Terrence Michael, Sean Patrick, and Matthew Meltzer. Robert Bauer was the librarian, and the production coordinator was Debbie Sweeney. Special thanks go out to Randy Azrati, Coco Shinomiya, Simpson's Diner, and Lee Abrams. Tex Carbone was our director of studio operations. Recorded in Studio B of the historic Abernathy building, crown jewel of the city's skyline. It's a Grey Water Park production in association with Big Red Tree. This is your announcer, Pierre Mancini, speaking. Join us again next week when the subject is happy.